Have Elizabeth, a wedding photographer and a bridal boutique owner based in San Diego. And today's video is going to have a couple of announcements at the start, so I hope you guys stick around for those before we jump into the topic, which is going to be about consultations with your vendors. I have been really heavily hit by the coronavirus when it comes to all things weddings. So I have, on my photography side, over half my weddings, or about half my weddings at this point, have now rescheduled to 2021, which is really tough because I only take on a very select limited number of weddings a year. So the fact that half of my weddings of this year, they've already basically taken up half of the weddings that I can book for next year. And you might be saying, well, why didn't you just book more? Well, I also have another business that I have to dedicate enough time to, which is my bridal boutique. And the bridal boutique has had over 100 brides postpone their weddings. So things have been really chaotic for us. Thankfully, most of the brides have been really calm and understanding about things. Like at the boutique, we cannot have brides coming in right now. For some reason, there are some brides who don't seem to understand that, and they're like, why aren't you letting us in? And we're like, well, because it's illegal and there's a pandemic going on. So if you are trying to get businesses to serve you during this time and it's illegal, please don't. They can't do anything about it. They don't want to get a citation or get heavy fines or be shut down. So it's just the best way to go about it in order to protect the community and abide by the law. So that's what's been going on with me. It's definitely been really tough. At least for my boutique, we have actually been able to bring all of our alterations team off of unemployment to start making face masks. So I can show you guys some of the face masks we have. We have a pink, and I'll show you some pictures of me in this after. I've got like a full face of makeup on this for this video, so I don't want to like smear it for the rest of the video. And then we also have a burgundy. And then we are, depending on when this video comes out, getting ready to launch some really cool ones. We have some lace covered face masks. So these are gonna be a little bit more expensive. These right here, I believe, are about $15, and they do have a nose wire inside of them, so they're adjustable. They're 4 layers, so these are really safe. They're a lot safer than those 1-layer paper masks. So if you are definitely somebody who wants to be as protected as possible and make sure that you're protecting your community from you when you're going out and about, these are gonna be a really great option. I will leave the link down below for our Etsy where you can purchase them, or you can purchase them directly from our website. So anyway, these are some new lace options that we are going to have. I'm excited about this one. Anyway, we are going to have all of these up available soon. So if you do want a fancier mask, these are gonna be a little bit more expensive than the others because they are made with extremely high quality bridal gown lace, which is really exciting. So that's just one thing that we've had going on. It's really great because it allows our alterations team to work a lot of hours on these masks and support their families, come off of unemployment, get back to work, and of course they are wearing masks while they're working on the masks just to make sure that everybody is safe. We aren't taking on brides for appointments yet. We'll be doing that when we're allowed to, but at least for now we're working on masks, which is very exciting. So the actual topic of this video is consultations with vendors. Now I think I did a video several years ago about why you should have them. It's really old and it's really short, so I will just quickly kind of repeat everything I said in that video. The point of having a consultation, and a consultation is done over the phone or in person, maybe even a video meeting. Consultation is not text only on email. That is so hard to connect with your potential vendors over text only. So much gets lost in translation. You don't get a feel for their personalities. So a huge reason to talk on the phone with your potential vendors. And when I say potential, I mean the people that you've narrowed down to. So you probably shouldn't be talking to 10 different photographers on the phone. Probably should be more like 2, 3, maybe 4. So once you've narrowed down to a smaller number, ask to chat with them over the phone. That is probably gonna be your only option right now, that or video. I don't think a lot of people are gonna be meeting in person at this time. So I definitely recommend doing this. And if you are getting married in 2021, no matter what month, honestly, I would recommend going ahead and trying to book your vendors now because, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of 2020 couples are postponing to 2021. So those dates that you might think were safe because they're far enough out might not be as safe as you thought because couples from this year are starting to take them. So jump on this, don't wait. Corona shutdown is a really convenient time to go ahead and do some more wedding plans. So why have a consultation? Well, I've already mentioned it lets you get to know their personality. You also get to ask questions in a much more efficient manner. I really don't like when I have a couple email me 20 questions and they expect me to type all of that out over email. No, that's crazy. I'm not going to do that. It would be so much faster to do it over the phone, and maybe while I'm talking and giving you my spiel, I've already answered like 10 of those different questions. So it's so much more efficient. It is easier for everybody. You get a feel for how they're going to be with you on the wedding day. So somebody like your photographer, maybe your videographer, your planner, you're gonna be around them on the wedding day. So you wanna make sure that their personality is a great match for you and what you're looking for. Second is you get to ask them questions about how they work. And that is really great because this might not be conveyed on their website. Do you want somebody who's more hands-off? Do you want somebody who's more hands-on? This is information that you're going to be able to gain by speaking with them on the phone that you might not have gotten over email only. Those are really great benefits for it. And then third, obviously you get to ask them questions, and you get to ask them these questions in a very efficient manner. When it comes to photography, videography, and things that are more artistic, I don't personally think it's worth the time to talk logistics of the day just yet. Like, oh, what's our timeline gonna be? Like, you've got plenty of time to go over that far down the road once you've chosen your photographer. It doesn't really make sense to have that conversation with all of your potential photographers during consultations. Instead, ask the questions that you want to know about their work, how they work, what their process is like. Of course, ask them how the booking process works and payments. Those are logistical questions that are very important when it comes to the booking process. But don't spend too much time going over each detail of this day on the wedding day, because you can do that later once you've chosen them. So this is about the time to get to know them and ask them questions about how they get inspired. What really draws them in? What do they look for when they're searching for locations? Things like this, if they're important to you, are great things to ask. You don't need to ask them what kind of camera equipment they have. That doesn't matter. If you love their work, they could shoot the whole wedding on an iPhone and you would still love it. It does not matter. The camera does not matter. It is the person behind it. So I wouldn't ask technical questions like that unless you are a photographer yourself and you know what they're going to be talking about. And I say this because I see a lot of websites that are like, here's 50 questions to ask your potential photographers. And as a bride myself, I asked probably none of those questions to our potential photographers because they didn't matter. They were just questions written down, and I'm like, well, I don't care about this. All I care about is what their work is like and what they are like. That's all I needed to know, and that's all I feel like my brides actually need to know, because I do get some brides who say, I don't really know what to ask you. Like, what do brides normally ask you? And I just tell them, this is how I work. This is what I'm like to work with. This is how I handle posing. These are the things that are going to matter to at least my brides on the wedding day, rather than, what time should you show up on my wedding day if my ceremony is at this time? We can talk about that later. I want to get to know my brides, and honestly, during a consultation, I am going to really make the point that it should be a lot more about you than it is about the vendor. And I think that because as a vendor, I want to make sure that the person I'm talking to on the phone is a good fit for me. It's not a one-way street, it's a two-way street. If I'm talking to somebody and I'm learning more about their wedding and realizing that I'm not a good fit for that, I'm going to tell them, hey, I don't really think that I'm the right person for this job, but I know somebody else who is. So it's kind of an interview of both ways, and I'm not saying that to say that they're going to be judging you or your wedding, but it's more along the lines of, if I'm hearing somebody describe that they love a certain type of photography and that's not actually what I offer, I should not be booked by them. I don't want them as a client because I'm not going to make them happy. So these things are really great because I can learn more about a potential client on the phone to not only ensure that I'm a good fit for them and they're a good fit for me, but also because I just want to get to know them. I want to learn about who they are, especially as somebody who takes on maybe 10 to 12 weddings a year. It's very important for me that I deeply get to know my clients so that I can photograph them in the best way possible that represents their genuine personalities. So on this consultation, allow them the time to ask you questions. And even if you're a shy person, try not to just give quick one-word answers. Try to expand. They want to know about you, or at least they should want to know about you. So tell them about things. We want to hear this. I don't ask these just to ask these. I ask questions about how you met because maybe that reveals to me that you met in med school. And then I can say, well, where are you now? Is this going to be important for you in your wedding? Are you going to tie in medical things? Or is that simply just a job? Maybe it's your hobbies like surfing, and maybe that's going to be a part of your wedding, or maybe that can be part of your engagement session. So the more clients open up to me, the more I learn about them and can have ideas buzzing in my brain about what can happen during their photos. And so that to me is very valuable. So if they're not asking these questions, go ahead and just tell them about yourself. Hopefully they would be asking questions about you, like how you met. Who's going to be at your wedding? Are there going to be things at your wedding, special traditions or decor items that are really, really meaningful to you? What's going on with your planning? What kind of design are you thinking? These are really fabulous questions to have asked of you, but if people are not asking this, please volunteer this information because you should learn about them, but they should also learn way more about you because you've seen their website, you've seen their work. The work should hopefully speak for itself, but you don't have this online profile unless you're some sort of influencer or celebrity, and so they should want to get to know you and learn everything they can about you on this probably 15 to 30-minute phone call. So that's another really valuable thing about the consultation that a vendor would not have learned about you had it only been over email, where things are less easy to divulge all of this information and get deeper into who you are. That said, if you are talking to somebody like maybe a linen company, they might not need to know all of this about you. I think that the people in terms of vendors that need to know more about you are people like your photographer, your planner, maybe even your florist if flowers are going to be a really big part of your design and your decor, because that's really important to the design. If you're just going really simple with things, you already know what you want, you don't want a florist who's more of a designer, then that's maybe not quite as important. They still need to know about your wedding, but they might not need to know as much about you. So this is something to think about. I want you guys to consider the consultation to be like a meeting with a friend, and you are just seeing if this person is going to be your best friend or if maybe they're just going to stay a friend, you follow them and you don't really hire them. I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's the best analogy that I can come up with because it is something that is so important. I tell couples all the time, don't be afraid to get on the phone or meet up with a vendor because that is the best way to do things. I actually don't even send over my full pricing to potential clients until after we've spoken on the phone. I give them my starting price in the email before so that they can at least know if I'm going to be in budget or not, so I don't waste anybody's time. But I don't just send over a price sheet because I want to learn more about my clients' weddings. And I have a lot of clients who are a little bit on the higher end. They have multiple days of events. So if I just send over one size fits all packaging, it wouldn't fit these kinds of weddings that I'm shooting where they're wanting a welcome dinner thing. They're wanting like another portraits in the city of their wedding and all of these different things. So that's why I typically will have this phone call, learn about my clients, learn about their wedding events, what they want photographed, and then put together a custom package for them. That's the way I work. That's the way a lot of vendors that I know work. Florists especially, florists are not going to have a one size like fits all price sheet because they have to know how many people you want, what kinds of flowers you want, how many tables you're having, how many events you want floralized, all these things that they can't just send over a price sheet and you pick. They create an entire proposal. So to wrap this up, don't be afraid to have a consultation, and on the consultation, don't be too concerned with little questions you found to ask on the internet. Throw that away. If you don't know what to ask the vendor directly, what should I be asking you? We know that you guys usually don't know anything about weddings because this is usually your first wedding, and that's okay. No one's gonna judge you for that. Brides and grooms typically don't know a whole lot most of the time. It's our job to teach them and also to teach them what they should know. So don't worry about those websites with 50, 20 questions. That is probably not going to be very valuable to you. Instead, focus on getting to know the vendor and asking them what you should ask, or saying, is there anything I haven't asked that I should know about? That's super simple. It's easy. It makes your life so much less stressful when you feel like you don't have to study and prepare for these consultations. just think of it as hanging out with them, getting to know them, trying to figure out if they're the right fit for you, and they'll let you know if there's maybe somebody better for you that's not them. And then again, open up about yourself. That is so, so important. I hate when I jump on a phone call and it is like pulling teeth to get answers out of people, because I feel like we are not connecting whatsoever. And usually that's a sign that I'm not going to be the right fit for them. They might not be looking for somebody who wants to connect on a personal level, because on the wedding day, I want to show up feeling like a friend. I don't want to feel like a vendor. I don't want to feel like someone the bride just feels like is hired help. I want to feel connected to her and to the groom, or to the bride and bridegroom and groom, because for me, that is what makes me able to photograph them in a very meaningful, authentic way. So open up about yourself, tell them things. You could probably go on for like 30 minutes about your life story, and most of the time they will listen if they don't have somewhere else to be. So that's just something that is really important. Please don't be shy about sharing things about yourself. Ask them questions you're curious about, and then you can make the right decision based on that. And of course, then the smaller logistics like their pricing and how to book them and those sorts of things. So anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you do need a face mask, please definitely go to the links down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!